Hey, Professor Homa, part 2 of the ship tween video. I'm just going to go over bringing in a sound. So we put a little ship horn sound. Now, I'm not going to go over the other part, but if you can go online and download a free sound, either a WAV file or an MP3 file, that'll work fine. Since I only have a movie that's 5 seconds, I want to make sure the sound file is pretty short. So I'm going to import it into my movie first, and I'm going to import it into my library. So I'm going to go File, Import, and I'm going to do import to library to bring in my sound. And I already have a sound downloaded, and here it is. It's from sounddogs.com, but it's an MP3 file which you can bring in, and I'm going to import it into my library. And you won't see anything happen. It'll just go into your library, and here's your library in Flash. You can see there's my sound, there's my ship symbol, and there's the bitmap of the background and the bitmap of the original cruise ship that I brought in before I converted it to a symbol. Okay, so my sound's in there. Now to use my sound in my movie, I'm going to do this. Well, I didn't do this originally in class, but I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm just going to call this layer sound. Okay, and you can see there's a blank keyframe and there's no content. I'm not going to put any content on this layer. I'm going to go to like frame, I'm going to wait till my ship kind of comes into my movie. I'm going to go to frame 5 and I'm going to add a keyframe. Okay, and since there's no content, it makes another blank keyframe here. But what I do want to do, if you bring in a sound has to go on a keyframe. Doesn't care if there's content there, if it's a keyframe or a blank keyframe, it just needs a keyframe. So I'm going to go on this layer, on this keyframe, and I'm going to go over to my properties palette. Now remember, if you click on an image, you're going to see properties for your particular item. If I click here on the boat, I'm seeing properties for my ship. But if I go on this keyframe, I'm seeing properties for that frame. And while I'm here, I have an area for sound. And if it's closed up, you may have to turn down this little arrow. But I'm going to, from sound, once it's in your library, and you have to import it, so it's in your library first, I'm going to grab that sound, and that way if you want to try a bunch of different sounds, you can import them and then see which one you like better. But here's the one I downloaded, and now and you can see here's the waveform for it. It's a pretty long sound. It actually may go longer than my movie. If I needed to move this, I could actually drag it down and bring it to like frame 2 or something. Okay, and that will accompany my boat as it goes in. So if I test my movie here, I'm not sure how loud this is going to be. I'll turn that. Okay, I think you were able to hear that. There's my ship, so that horn. I'll close that up so it doesn't loop anymore, but that's my sound. If you ever needed to get rid of a sound, just go over here and choose none. And if you want to put a new one, just go back and import a new one and then try it out in here. So inserting a sound is pretty easy. So finding the right sound and finding a free sound is sometimes more of a challenge.